Welcome to Summary Cast. Big ideas in short time.
Welcome. Today we are getting into a question that, let's be honest, a lot of us have asked. It's a mystery that Gary Chapman really wanted to solve. What on earth happens to all that love and magic after the wedding? I mean, think about it. It's such a huge question, right? You meet someone, there are sparks, you fall completely in love, and you just know that your love is the real deal. It's gonna last forever. But then, for so many couples, that incredible fire just seems to die down. Why does that happen?
Chapman tells this story about a guy he met on a plane, a really successful man, smart, sincere, but he'd been married and divorced 3 times, and he was just lost. He said that after every wedding, the intense love he felt just disappeared, vanished. And you know what? He is definitely not alone in feeling that way.
So, to really figure this out, Chapman gives us this brilliant core idea, a metaphor that could honestly change the way you see your relationships. He calls it the emotional love tank. Okay, picture this. Every single one of us is walking around with an emotional love tank inside. It's not just a nice idea, it's a fundamental human need wired right into our being to feel loved and wanted. Now, when that tank is full, we feel secure, we feel important, and our relationships just work. But when it's running on empty, that's when you start to see all the problems, the arguments, the distance, the bitterness. It all starts there.
So here's the big reveal. The love doesn't just evaporate into thin air. Nope. The real problem is that after we get married, after we get comfortable, we often stop doing the things that keep our partner's love tank full. We might have the best intentions in the world, but somehow we're just not hitting the mark anymore.
And this slide explains it perfectly. Chapman says it's like a language barrier. Imagine you're sincerely, with all your heart, telling your partner you love them in English, but they only understand Chinese. It doesn't matter how loud you say it or how much you mean it, they're just not going to get the message. Sincerity, it turns out, is not enough. To really grasp this, we need to make a super important distinction between 2 very different things that we tend to just call love. Check this out. On one side, you've got the in-love experience. Chapman actually calls it an obsession. It's that giddy, euphoric, can't eat, can't sleep feeling where the other person seems absolutely perfect. It feels so natural, it takes no effort, and get this, research shows it has an average lifespan of about 2 years. Then you've got real love. This isn't a feeling, it's a choice. It takes work, it takes discipline, and it means loving the other person, flaws and all.
And this right here is the absolute core of it all. It reminds me of how the Apostle Paul described love, not as a feeling, but through actions. Being patient, being kind, being humble. Real, lasting love is an act of your will. It's a choice you make every single day to care for the well-being of your partner. It's saying, I choose you and I choose to serve you. Just a quick pause. If these insights are unlocking something for you, imagine what they could do for your family's daily life. Don't let this wisdom stop here. Hit the subscribe button right now. Make sure the next guide finds you automatically. Done? Let's get back to the book. Okay, so if that obsessive, in-love feeling is designed to fade, and our best, most sincere efforts are basically getting lost in translation, then how in the world are we supposed to fill our partner's love tank and build that real, lasting love? How do we make that choice to love effectively? Well, Chapman says there are 5 primary emotional love languages, and the secret to a thriving marriage is actually pretty simple, though not always easy. First, you have to figure out your partner's main love language, and second, you have to choose to speak it to them, even if it doesn't come naturally to you. So let's jump in and look at the first language to see what this looks like in real life. It's called words of affirmation. And for some people, words mean absolutely everything. If this is your partner's language, then hearing compliments and praise is like breathing emotional oxygen. They hear I love you the loudest when you encourage them, when you use a kind tone, and when you make humble requests instead of demands. Something as simple as, wow, you look incredible tonight, or I am so proud of you, can literally fill their tank to the brim. All right, on to language number 2, quality time. And this is not just about being in the same house at the same time. It's about really being present. The real currency of quality time is your undivided attention. That means the phone is down, the TV is off, and you are truly focused on them. It might be a deep conversation where you're really listening, or doing some activity together where you're building a shared memory. When you give someone your focused time, you're giving them a part of your life, and that speaks volumes. Now for our third language, receiving gifts. This one gets misunderstood a lot. It has almost nothing to do with materialism. It's all about the thought that the gift represents. You see, for someone who speaks this language, a gift is a tangible, visible symbol of love. It's actual proof that you were thinking about them when they weren't around. The price tag is totally irrelevant. It could be a flower you picked from the garden or their favorite chocolate bar. Those little things scream, "You were on my mind." Okay, let's look at our fourth language, acts of service. For people who speak this language, actions genuinely do speak louder than words. Love for them feels most real when you do things for them that you know they'd appreciate. Making dinner, fixing that leaky faucet, taking out the garbage without being asked. These things take planning, they take effort, they take energy. And by doing them, you are tangibly showing your love and lightening their load. And that brings us to our fifth and final language, physical touch. Now, this isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about communicating love and security through connection.
For a person whose primary language is physical touch, just being near you is incredibly important. A hug when they're upset, holding hands while you're walking, a simple pat on the back. These things can communicate more security and care than 1,000 words ever could. Without that touch, their love tank can feel completely empty.
So, the big question, does this stuff actually work? Well, Chapman shares this amazing story about a couple, Jim and Janice, whose marriage was right on the edge of divorce. Janice felt totally used and unloved. She told Chapman, "I've just given up." But then, at a seminar, Jim had this light bulb moment. He realized Janice's language was receiving gifts, something he had stopped speaking years ago. So, Jim decided to try an experiment. Just one small gift a day for 1 week. A single rose, a little card, her favorite pizza. And the change in Janice was apparently immediate and just unbelievable. Her love tank, which had been on empty for years, started to fill up. She felt seen, she felt valued, she felt loved again. Jim's choice to learn her language didn't just save their marriage, it completely transformed it. And that story really just brings it all home, doesn't it? Love isn't some random mystical feeling that comes and goes as it pleases. It is a series of choices. It's the choice to learn a whole new language, not for you, but for the person you care about. So the real question for all of us isn't whether we feel love today, but what language we will choose to speak to make our love felt.
If today's instruction brought clarity and direction to your relationship, don't let that source dry up. Your journey of growth cannot stop here. To ensure you continue receiving this direction weekly, the only thing to do is subscribe to our channel. May the wisdom of the Word be the anchor of your home. Until our next meeting.